Hello, Flanders. My name is Jonas Poher Rasmussen, and I'm the director of Flea, which is the animated documentary that you're about to see. Flea is a very personal story for me because it's about a very dear friend of mine who I met when I was 15 years old. I grew up in this very small Danish rural village. And one day, Amin showed up all by himself from Afghanistan. And he stayed in foster care with a family just around the corner from where I lived. He learned Danish really fast, and soon we started to meet up every morning going to high school. We met up at the bus stop, and slowly we became very good friends. And of course, already back then, I was curious about how and why he had gotten to Denmark, but he didn't want to talk about it. And that's until 10 years ago, almost now, where he decided to finally open up and share his story with me.
Prøv en lille smule længere op. Meget lidt. Så hvis du ligesom lukker øjnene nu,
ja,
og prøver at trække vejret sådan dybt ind.
So that's what you're going to see now. You're going to hear his real voice tell the story of his journey, of his flight from Afghanistan to Denmark for the very first time. And then we animate the whole journey. So I did around 20 interviews with him during a span of like 4 or 5 years. And slowly, you know, in the beginning, he didn't really feel comfortable in sharing everything. But then slowly, as we started to talk, he would slowly be more and more ready to share his story. And then from there, it was about finding a style of animation that could really support this testimony. So it felt like the visual style of the film and the story came together. We kind of have 3 different styles of animation, actually. One of them is, you know, when we're back in the past, it is kind of classical 2D, and we try to look as close as possible to reality. And then there's the present day, which is really based on the footage I shot with Amin and his boyfriend, or just with Amin, you know, in his life. Because at the same time I started doing interviews with him, I also started to just follow him around in his life with a camera to see what was going on. So whenever we kind of see him in the present day in his flat or out looking at a house with his boyfriend or these things, it's based on that footage. And we kept in, you know, that the camera is moving a little bit, that the sometimes it's a little bit out of focus, or we have these jump cuts where we kind of cut in the middle of a shot to keep this sense of documentary in the animation style. And then there's the more kind of graphical, surreal, expressive kind of animation to support the emotional layer. When Amin starts to talk about things that's really difficult to talk about, we could show fear, we could show anger, we could show sadness in a more honest way with the animation than we could have done with the camera.
Det går rundt. Tænk tilbage. Så det er min fortid, og det jeg ikke flygtet fra det, jeg har heller ikke lyst.
So I hope that this will give you some perspective and some nuance to what it means to be a refugee, and I hope that you will enjoy the film.